Who is Kathryn Walt?
I am a very lucky woman. I've been able to have a wonderful career, a great family, and to ultimately live my professional dream. It's not that I didn't have bumps along the way, because I sure did, but I think I describe myself always as being a mother and a wife first, but I have just had such a fun time in my career, and it's been varied.
That's amazing. That's wonderful. You know the theme of the magazine this month, which you didn't know, living with gratitude.
Is what?
And it's living with gratitude is the theme of the magazine.
Living with gratitude? Oh my gosh!
And I knew it when I looked at you. When I looked at you, I said, "That's what this is," and I was exactly right. That's amazing. That's the first thing out your mouth. That's amazing.
I mean it. When I wake up in the morning, every morning that I'm here in Napa, and again this morning, I see the vines around me and think how lucky I am. It's just, and
that's amazing.
I think somewhere in there, in one of your questions, you said, "Oh, this isn't luck," and I worked really hard. Nothing comes without sacrifice, but I also think that I've had this amazing infusion of good luck, and in a sense, I think I'm lucky to recognize how lucky I've been.
Yes, absolutely. Wonderful. Oh, that is wonderful. So, okay, so that leads to my next question, and I just wanted to put you're going to continue on that vein. If we were to read your background, you've had such a huge amount of success in your career, politics, and now with the wine and art legacy that you're building with your husband. What is the secret? Because these are not easy areas to live in, to exist in, and you guys are doing such a wonderful job. What do you think? What's your theory?
I think the most important influence on my life was growing up in a family where both of my parents, my mother and my father, raised me to think that I could be anything I wanted to be. I grew up in a time where women weren't lawyers, women didn't run wineries, and that was never an obstacle. I mean, I remember as a kid, my dad was a pharmacist and working, and he always, we never got allowances as kids in our family. We had to work, we would work. And so, and you work for, it was actually, it was 10 cents an hour, and then you get, and then it goes up and up and up. But I mean, it never went that high, but it was always like Dad always felt, and I think he's right, that you don't get anything for nothing, and you have to work. And so I would be working in his drugstore, and then sometimes if things were going really well at the end of the day when we'd go home, he'd say, and this is in single digits, under 10, coming home, and my dad, I remember one time going over to the toy section, and there was they had these doctor kits and nurse kits, and they don't have these anymore, but I mean, they looked exactly the same, and actually they had exactly the same kind of stuff inside of them. The difference was, I mean, they had a stethoscope, a fake stethoscope, and fake little pills, and fake little thermometer, and all that, but the difference between the two was that the doctor's was brown, and it had a picture of a man on it in a white jacket, and the other one was pink, and it had a woman in a nurse's outfit on it. And I remember taking home one night at the end of the day this little, said, well, he said, you get a gift today. And so, okay, I ran over and I asked I took the little pink nurse's kit, and he said, no, put that back. He said, why don't you take that other one? He said, being a nurse is a wonderful thing, but why would you take that and not to the doctor? just, maybe
amazing.
Yeah.
How?
So anyway, so to be able to grow up in a family where your parents were just you go for it. And so I think that was a huge asset for me. And when I've tried to do with my kids, there was also just, and then I think for whatever reason, I have always been very willing to take risks. I think, time passes so quickly, and I recognize that pretty young. And if I was going to try to do something, you just had to jump out there and, okay, you're going to be embarrassed, and oh man, you try running for political office and you're on the front page of the paper and people are saying very nasty things about you, but you just sort of, that's the risk you have to take if you want to try. And of course, those risks when I was a candidate for office many years ago, and I did it twice, I lost both times, but at the end of the day, I think I really won because I was able to get through it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And have you written a book?
What?
Have you written a book?
No.
Okay. This is so interesting because these little nuggets are so important, especially for girls, when your parents don't put you in a box and tell you that you can only be this or you can only go so far, don't even dream past that, and then you have somebody that's pushing you over the hill is wonderful.
Oh, it's so, my gosh.
Wow, that's amazing. So now, my third question is, art and wine are highly discerning spaces to operate in, and how do you approach it, as a business, as a passion, or both? And let me tell you why I'm asking, because everything I look at is so meticulously done. The artwork is, the spaces in the winery, everything looks so beautiful. So this is detail that we don't see all the time. So what is your theory on that? How are you approaching this?
It's totally passion.
Okay.
It's the love. The whole process is fabulous. And what happens is business really enhances it, because business gives us an opportunity to share it. Because part of the process is, it's such a joy to look. And then it's a joy to be able to buy it, and particularly to buy artists that nobody has heard of, and then once in a while we've been able to buy artists and then they become famous, which is just so amazing. But and then to be able to share the art and to see people respond to it, and it's just so, and if we weren't able to display it in the businesses here at the winery or back in Texas, where my husband has an office building, it would really change things. I'll tell you an example. Is years ago, about 5 years ago, my husband and I saw this incredible piece of art by an artist from Chicago. His name is Nick Cave, and it's just done with these beautiful textiles and shiny, and it's just eye candy. And we loved it as soon as we saw it. And by the way, and Nick is much better known now than he was then. And so we decided to buy it, but we bought it for each other as a anniversary present. But we had no place to put it because we didn't have a wall that big. It's a humongous piece. And so when we built the winery, we specifically got a wall that would be big enough to place it. So it's a passion, and the business sort of comes secondary, but it really enhances it all.
That is amazing. And that piece you're talking about is circular, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's on the cover. That's what you're wearing on the cover of the magazine this month.
Oh, really?
So,
oh, cool.
Yeah, that's the one. I love it. I thought it's so festive, and it looks like holiday, but it's so elegant at the same time. It's beautiful. It was wonderful. So now, the last question I have is, when I first started looking at the winery, we look at the cellars, we look at a bunch of pieces that are traditionally part of a wine setup. And then I saw this tree root chandelier, which I said somebody has to be brilliant to have done that. That is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I loved it. Now, who came up with that? Where did that come from?
That really is the artist. We wanted to have, and Donald Lipsky, so we wanted to have a great piece of art down there that was also light in the chandelier. And years ago, my inclination, we both, Craig and I, loved Chihuly's work, and so we had thought originally about going to Chihuly, and then, it's important to feel, we felt we were looking around. We went to Chihuly, but we were looking other places too, and we felt so much more of a personal connection with Don Lipsky. And, that's back to the idea of passion. It's an emotional attachment, and we just, we loved Donald Lipsky. We loved working with him. We loved what the art does, and so it was such a beautiful surprise when we saw what he had put together, and it's been, and it's more magical today than we ever dreamed it would be. I mean, when we first got in there and sat in the room and saw that chandelier, it felt like this was absolutely meant to be. And I'll tell you this, another sort of turn on serendipity is that cave is all built with Austrian bricks, and it just happenstance. Donald used Swarovski crystals in the sculpture.
Wow.
And they're from Austria.
So, and it was just meant to come together. It's meant.
It just came. Well, I think so. I mean,
yes.
I just think it's this beautiful. That's another example of business enhancing art. It's a piece of art that we just love.